we'll also bring some reaction from Advocate Brenda Madumise, who's Director for Wise for Africa, who joins us to further this discussion, and we will be speaking to her in a short while. Okay, we are with her at the moment. Advocate, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, just speaking to the KZN Premier, Tamin Duli, about some of the other factors and the approach that his government is taking when it comes to the 16 days of activism. He spoke about a multi-sector approach, talking about the different spheres of government that will be a part of this campaign to really curb the numbers and empower women. What do you make of that sort of approach, which speaks to the socio-economic factors and also, you know, roping in the police? What's your take?
Good evening. I mean, I think, but this is not new. This is what they were supposed to have done once the National Strategic Plan was adopted and submitted to government. The National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence is a multi-sectoral approach in its design, in its conceptualization, in its planning, in its execution. So it's nothing new. They should have done that in 2021 when that strategy was put in place.
Mm-hmm. And South Africa has the highest rate of death by domestic violence in the world, which really points and highlights to how urgent these interventions are and the kind of hands on deck that are needed to bring the numbers down. I mean, today we heard Police Minister releasing the South Africa's crime stats, saying that sexual offences are down by 2.5% and rape by 3.1%. What does that tell us about the work that is being done and the work that perhaps still needs to be done?
So let's not, I mean, I think the South African police should not even be celebrating the decrease of rape and sexual offences cases, right? Because we should not be in a country that, you know, have the numbers that we have around rape and sexual offences of over 10,000 women raped in a quarter, and we're talking about 4 months in the second quarter. That's the first thing. The second thing is the police and the leadership of the South African Police Service know fully well that rape in this country and sexual offences cases are underreported. One, precisely because of how they go about investigating those cases, where you have 2 years to 5 years of a victim still waiting for an investigation to conclude and be handed over to the prosecuting authority. So it's you know, we can talk about the decrease, but that it does not reflect the reality on the ground, and that you've got many victims and survivors of rape and sexual offences who have just decided to give up and not even report it. One, because they don't even get believed in the first place by the very same people who are supposed to assist them as first responders in the police station. So, you know, we can pat ourselves on the shoulders to say that we've increased rape and sexual offences. For me, no, I'm not doing that. I mean, it's one rapist, but too many in this country.
Absolutely. We also heard Deputy President Paul Mashatile today speaking about how government has passed laws that prioritize the safety of women and children, speaking about the Domestic Violence Act and the Sexual Offences Act, and saying that, you know, more needs to be done, but there are laws that assist. How effective are these laws when it comes to ensuring that people are brought to book and there is some sort of justice for victims?
So let's remember that laws cannot be the silver bullet, right?
Yeah.
They are not an answer to these social ills that we are faced with as a country. They are there to assist in cases where as citizens, as individuals, we behave and commit crimes, right? Mm-hmm. So that we know that once a crime has been committed, there is a law that we follow that must prosecute that individual who has gone against the state and behaving in a particular way, right? Mm-hmm. So the laws are ready to regulate our behavior, because we are human beings. We tend to push the envelope and try to test whether these things work, right? And if they work. And I think the crux of it all is that you need to have a criminal justice system that is working in a way that it becomes a deterrent to those who might think of committing a crime, right? But if you have a criminal justice system that takes 6 years, 5 years, 4 years to investigate a rape or sexual offenses rape, or that when you walk into a police station, you are ridiculed and your matter is laughed on, you know, it's there's no the laws will not be effective for anyone who experiences all of that, right? So it requires from the administrators of this criminal justice system to take their work seriously. You can't have a prosecutor who is prosecuting a rape case coming to work drunk, right? They're not paying attention to the case. The chances of representing that victim of rape successfully are dismal when you have that kind of a prosecutor. When you have a prosecutor who is laissez-faire and is not putting effort in ensuring that they get a conviction, you're not going to get anywhere. So for we can talk about the laws, we can talk about how many we have passed, but it's about the individuals who are seized with that law, if they understand the application of that law and that they apply themselves fully and thoroughly and get immense in their cases and have the passion to drive convictions that we want.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for weighing in on this conversation. Some very important points there. Advocate Brenda Madumise, who's Director WISE for Africa, joining us there to talk about the impact of the 16 Days of Activism campaign.